All right, so when you go in, you're going to create an account like you would with anything else. Um, you're going to create with the Wix editor. You're going to say no without chat. And you're going to come down here and you can just go ahead and skip this if you want, because we're going to start this from scratch. It's just that way you don't have to remove any templates. You don't have to do it this way, but you won't have to remove anything. You can come back and do this later, but we can say draft. We could say that and continue. And I'm going to skip all of this. We don't want any of this stuff. Okay, it's just going to slow us down. We're going to skip all of this. Any of those things can be added later. And we're going to go to our dashboard. One of the things I want to point out for sure is this domain. We don't want this. This is, students will confuse this with the title. So they'll say, let's go. And it will ask for money because a domain is not the same as just Wix free site. So we're going to forget about that. We're going to roll up here and say design site. We're going to say pick a template. We're not going to use a template, but we get there by saying pick a template. Now we're going to come over here and choose a blank template. We have always let you use whatever template you choose, but you do have to remove a lot of things. If you come to the blank template and you start from scratch, you don't need to view it. There's nothing there. Even if you use these, you have to work to get rid of all these placeholders. But we can begin here. And of course, it takes a second. Close all those. And over here, you've got basic menu. Okay. Once you start using those, these little prompts are going to disappear. But really, you're going to spend most of your time here in the add elements and here, pages and menu. You might go here, but not likely. You don't need these. You don't need that. You might check your media that way if you want. You don't need that. But you will be here and here. All right. So we've started something and we have nothing. Now notice this is called add elements. Over here, I know you guys have been in a session already, so you can add elements here or you can select here. The difference is if I'm up here in my header and I select elements, it's going to put me in the vicinity of what I need. Okay. I could do this and the same flyout menu will occur, right? And then what you're going to do is drag navigation into your header. Okay. Now there's no pages here because I only have one page. So I would go up here and you can watch this later if you want. It's recorded. And I'm going to add, let's see, get out of this. Pages and menu. I have my home page. Okay, that's this page right here. I'm going to add a page and I'm going to make it a blank page. And I'm going to call it, this new page, I'm going to call it about. Okay, I don't have to remove anything. I'm going to create another page and call it projects. You can call it, you know, films, videos, works. We'll call it works because it's short for now. Okay, so these are, you don't even have to have a home page. We don't require it. If you have a little sizzle reel that you want to put on your home page, that's good for that. If not, you can get rid of it by deleting that. And now the about becomes your home page. Or it could be your works. And then you would have to go in here and set it as your home page. But it's going to be something like this. You only need one more page, and that's your contact. I'm not going to add a blank one, although we could. I'm going to use their basic because then everything that we require you to have is going to be there. So I'm going to add this. Okay. and get out of this. So right now you have everything here that you're going to be submitting, all your pages, right? This does have placeholder, so that would have to be either removed or updated. This would then have a gap. You grab these purple toggle here to close that up. If there is something here, like let's say that this is here, it won't go. So if it doesn't move, there could be something invisible like in white text on white background, and that would fix that. We're going to take your phone number out. You can use a free Google number, but we ask you not to put personal information out there, even though everybody has all of our information. And then you want to update this, select it, and there's a link. You select your link, you're going to select email, put your email there. Okay, and then it will be linked to that. Same for social, click it. And here you have your socials. Let's say you only have a LinkedIn, which is really the only one we require. See a little trash can there. You could add a YouTube. Choose the style that works for you. Come down here on the bottom right and add it to your gallery, and there you have it. Now over here, you'll see what you want to call it, and this is where you're going to add your link right here. It'll open the same window. YouTube is an address on the web. It's going to open to that, and you'll paste in the URL for your film or whatever you have. All right, so select done. And now we have just what we needed here. Okay. And so that's pretty straightforward there. We do have your footer. This. And the same thing, you've got add elements. You're just going to have text. And this is the theme text. We want to stay with the theme. And you would take that, grab it in there. And here, hold down Option G, and you'll get your copyright symbol, 2025, and your name. Okay, that's all that you need to put here. You might want to put your social icons there, depending. You might want to center this, right? So there you have this. It's already got your form, everything you want. If you don't like that form, you can go here and add a contact form, right? If you prefer a different one, but you won't have to remove anything. So when we go to your about, see how fast I can do this. You can either select the add elements here or up here, either way. And we're going to add an image. You're going to upload an image from your computer. Okay, so this may not be the format you want. You might want something more vertical. Place that, and in that container, come over here. Again, our text, drag some text over, paragraph text. And you can change the size. That's a little large. 18 is good. This particular font, let's see. That's a little big, but we're going to move on. And you're going to put your about content there that you'll be writing. Okay. Close up a little bit of the gap. And you'll probably have a picture here and something like that. Now, when you go to your works page, go here. Let's say you want to add a video. Can drag a YouTube box over here, and all you have to do is change the video and put the new video URL there. Okay. You can copy this twice if you want, create a little pattern. There are other ways, galleries and things you can do, but this is certainly someone would get full credit for this. and go here. Again, you're going to want some text, keep it consistent, the same style. We changed that to 18, so let's go ahead and make that 18. You can come up here and save it to themes. You can come up here and choose something else, but let's just do that. And that's where you're going to put your asset guide. You're going to have the title, what your role was in that video, etc. And then you're going to have things aligning, same amount of space. You could add a third one. You aren't required to have more than 3. Students are at different levels and different places in the program. Some don't have as many as others. But that's one thing you can do. Okay. So at that point, I think you're almost done, except we have the mobile over here, and you are responsible for mobile. We have our header, right? All this is working okay, but we've got our header we have to go back to. So on our desktop, let's see, let's move this. We could probably make it smaller. And we need to put your name and your tagline. That's what you're working on this week, right? So we're going to have some text. We can put a heading 1 up here. Every page should have a heading 1. It doesn't mean the heading has to be that large. You could change your heading 1 size as long as it's labeled heading 1. A search engine and screen reader will flag it as that and recognize it. It doesn't have to be that size, though. We can make it smaller if we want. Let's say it's a 32. And now we can save that to theme if we want. And now our heading 1 is that size. So this is where you're going to put your name and your skill set. Okay. And you can, lay that out how you want. You can have bold or not. You can change, if you change font, just keep 2 fonts, one for headings and one for paragraph. But maybe you want your headings to be something else, something heavier, something bigger, however you want it. Okay. All right. And if you did nothing but this, it would be right. It would not have your carts, anything to take out, nothing, no background images, nothing to take out. That doesn't mean it has to stay bland. If you wanted, you can then go in later. This does have a colored theme, but you could change the background. Don't put images, they're too cluttered, and you can choose your colors and things like this, right? You can make some design choices, what have you, okay? Same with the heading, you can change that color, all of that. All right, I'm going to stop right there. I wanted to see how much I could give you and how far we could get into that. But that's just, some very basic, that's by the end of the month, if you have this, you're good.